Hey guys, it's Brandy. I know some of you have noticed that I haven't been online or making any videos of the travel trailer. I actually lost subscriptions, which that's okay because I'm mostly doing it for myself and for the family and friends. And I know you guys will never unsubscribe just because you're curious to see what we're doing. But I did want to put this video out there. I'm not going to be talking about the travel trailer, camper, or anything like that. I wanted to talk about depression. And the reason why I want to is because of all people, I never thought that I would go through depression. As a lot of you guys know, I lost my mom almost a year now. It'll be a year in July. And it's something that I have been dealing with for a year or almost a year, but it feels like a lifetime. And my best friend killed herself 10 years ago. And I was so angry at her. I was so mad because I couldn't understand why she would do something so terrible. And everybody talks about, if you kill yourself, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I never realized until I started going through it that it is a temporary situation. However, it depends on how long you think temporary is. I've been going through it for over a year or almost a year. So to me, since I've been going through it, I feel like it's just going to continue on and on and on. Now, 10 years down the line, when I have everything back to normal and I'm doing everything, then maybe I'll look back and go, yeah, it was a year or however long, and it was a temporary situation and all of that, which I'm hoping that's what's going to happen. But what I did realize through this whole process is that there's a lot of people out there that obviously have a lot of problems. And I was one of those people that would just say, suck it up, buttercup. You just got to go on, because life does go on for everybody around you. And I think that's the hardest part of losing somebody and losing someone so close to you, is that your whole life changes, but everybody around you and everybody that you know continues to go on their way. They have to. We all have to. So I wanted to put my story out there and just tell you guys that if you are sad, if you are depressed, if you are feeling down and constantly, that don't be ashamed to tell somebody. Don't be ashamed to go to the doctor and tell somebody, I need help. Because that's exactly what I did. I had to tell my primary doctor, I need to talk to somebody. I need either different medication or something, because I'm about to lose control. And I will tell you that if it wasn't for one person, that's all it took was one person, I would not be here today. Because I had called that one person, and that one person was able to realize something was wrong and said, you have to go to the doctors. You have to call them. And I just want people to know that you could be that one person. It's so hard in this day and age because there's so many people with so many opinions and all that good stuff. But what it comes down to is being nice and being understanding that people need certain things, and try to put yourself in that position. And don't make fun of somebody if they're down or depressed, or don't put them down. Let them know that, hey, I think you may be depressed. I think we need to, have a doctor come in and talk to you about this, and see if you can help them, not make fun of them. What I didn't realize is there's a death every 16 minutes. Every 16 minutes. That is a lot. Every 16 minutes that go by. And I think it's because so many people just don't have an outlet. They think it's over. And I was one of them, honest to God. My mom passed away, and I just thought, life's over as it was. And it's true. My life before my mom passed away, that life is over. And now I have to move on and go forward. And some people takes longer than others. I'm one of those that obviously is going to take longer since I'm going on a year. But I just couldn't believe that in every 16 minutes, somebody kills themselves. And I think a lot of it can be prevented if people just would talk to other people. And it doesn't have to be a specialist at first. It could be your best friend. It could be a teacher. It could be your boss. It could be anybody whatsoever. And what I found is that if you're just nice to people, there were days that I didn't want to go to the grocery store, but I had to, or I had to go to the doctor's. And then somebody would be nice to me, and I was like, wow, that was really nice, And it just brightened up my day a little. Obviously, it couldn't brighten it up a lot, but they don't know what I'm going through, and you don't know what they're going through. And I just couldn't believe, once again, I'm going to say it, every 16 minutes somebody kills themselves. And there's a lot of help out there. And I really didn't know until recently. I went online and I looked at, suicide prevention and different things like that, because with the medical, and this is another thing that I think people get frustrated about, is that I have medical insurance and I can go to the doctors and I can see the therapist and I can see the psychologist and I can see my primary doctor, I could see a specialist, but they're so busy. You can't get in, and when you do get in, you get 45 minutes to talk with a therapist or a psychologist or a shrink, and in that 45 minutes you're trying to tell them everything, and him or her is trying to figure you out with just the questions and the answers, and then you don't get to see them for another 6 weeks. Well, what happens during that 6 weeks? You continue to go down, or you go up and then you go down. And I guess that's where I felt frustrated. I was like, okay, I'm getting better, I'm feeling better, I think I'm okay. And then all of a sudden I would just be at the very bottom of the pit. And I just didn't understand. I never went through this. I never went through that kind of emotion before. And then when I tried to get help, it's like, okay, here, put you on this medication and I'll see you in 6 weeks, and see this, therapist. And then you try to get into that therapist, and it's 2 months away or a month and a half away. And then you're like, okay, I get to talk to them. Well, now they're booked out a month or two. So now you're still sitting there going, well, what do I do? And honestly, I don't know. I really don't know. The doctors are so slammed with everybody. But I would say just don't give up on yourself. Just don't give up. If you don't like a doctor, go to a different doctor. If you didn't like this therapist, request another one. There's also, which I knew that there was a 800 number that you could call for crisis line and the suicide prevention line. But what I didn't know is there's actually text messaging that you can do for the crisis line. And I'm going to put that up here, and you can text them and they'll text you. Because some people, like me, I just can't call the 800 number and just tell people I'm sad, I have I'm having a problem. Because that's just not me, right? So I wanted to put the 800 number up there to make sure somebody's seeing this video that's really having a hard time. Call the number if you can. If not, text them. I can't believe, I'm like, wow, we're really getting techie here. And on their website, you can instant message them too as well. They have an instant messaging online, and you can just talk to them through your computer. And I thought that was really cool, because I would be one to do more of the online thing than I would be to pick up the phone and call, because I really don't know what to say. And the other thing I want to just put out there is that at first, everybody was going on with their lives, and I was like, don't you see what happened? I'm devastated. But it's not your family, friends' fault. They have to move on. Their friends, your friends, your family, they all have kids or spouses or dogs, something that they're taking care of. And it's not that they don't love you. Just like my family is so far away. They're on the other side of the country, and they have their own lives. And yes, they think about me and they like my Facebook posts and stuff like that. But sometimes I go, wow, they haven't called me. But on the same token, they're like, well, Brandy hasn't called. I wonder how she's doing. Well, Facebook, it looks like she's doing okay. But they don't know, and they don't want to bother you. But then sometimes you feel like, well, nobody cares. But that's not it. It's just that you have to reach out to people. And some people, I will tell you, there is one person that has stepped up and just sometimes been annoying. I shouldn't say that. I love her to death. And I love her. God, I love her. But sometimes she would get on my nerves because she would nag. Did you do this? Have you called this doctor? Have you done this? And what I want to say is, if you don't have somebody in your life like that, if you see somebody that is depressed and that is going through a hard time, be that nagging friend. Be that nagging friend. Because that nagging friend is really what that person needs to keep going forward, because that person just kind of stops for a while. So I'm sorry the video was so long. It's just, I really, really was disturbed by every 16 minutes somebody kills themselves. And I could have been one of those statistics, honestly. So I'm going to put up those numbers again, the 800, the text, and everything. I'm going to put those numbers at the very end. And I hope that this video at least helps somebody, because I know somebody out there really needs to hear this. And then back to the camper thing. You guys will be happy to know that I am going to start working on the camper this weekend. So you will see videos of the camper now. And thank you for everybody in my life on Facebook, texting me, and in my life in person, and my family. Thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you soon.